What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Christian Ballard here with Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live on a Tuesday afternoon. Can't be on here too long. I got something very important at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And but I figured I'd come on here just a little bit. If anyone wants to hop on, feel free to get in the chat. Hey, we have basketball back. We do. Alabama women's, they're kicking off tonight. First game, they're playing Charleston Southern. So women's hoops is underway. Men's hoops has been underway. The Crimson Tide in men's basketball, Nate Oates in year 3 upcoming. Or is it 4? Has it been 4 years? I think it's 3. He's up tonight playing La Tech, Louisiana Tech, Akron and Ohio State, UT Martin and Tennessee, Kansas and Michigan State. There's a lot to look forward to, yeah? So I'm excited, man. It's good to have college basketball back. It's great. I miss it. I miss basketball. We had a great tournament last March. Of course, Baylor winning it. I think they finished with a 26-2 overall record. I think with 28 games they played. At least maybe that was going into the tournament. I don't know, but yeah, congrats to them. The rankings, of course, have been out. We're fixing to start. We got the preseason poll. Baylor's in the top 10, but they're not expecting much from them, at least maybe what you might think they'd expect. They got them at 8. They got Gonzaga, number 1. They got UCLA 2. Of course, Gonzaga, the runner-up, almost had a full-on undefeated season to go 32-0. Gonzaga, UCLA was a dark horse Cinderella team last year, made it to the Final Four, fell short. They're at number 2. They expect some big things. They bring a lot back, and I think that UCLA is going to have a hell of a year. And what, they want to do, what Coach Mick Cronin, wants to do with the team, I think it's going to be really amazing. They might overall win the Pac-12. Johnny Juzang, Jamie Jaquez, Tiger Campbell were some key guys I remember watching last year. Yeah. So you got UCLA, Kansas. God, the only place they'll ever be ranked in the top 25 is men's basketball. Sorry. Villanova, Texas, Michigan, Purdue, Baylor, Duke, Kentucky, Illinois, Memphis, Oregon, Bama, Houston, Arkansas, Ohio State, Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida State, Maryland, Auburn, St. Bonaventure, UConn, and Virginia. So there's a lot of great teams to watch this season. A lot to look forward to. Who do you guys think is going to win it all? It's too early to tell. I wouldn't sleep on Duke. I think they get back to being what they historically have been. I hope my Tide can get it done. I think they could. I think they're better this year. They bring a lot back. They made it to the Sweet 16 and failed. Can they get further? I think so. They just needed to pick up the defense a bit, which from what I have heard Nate Oates say this week, it seems like he's quite pleased about it. So Duke, Kentucky, Illinois, Michigan, Purdue, quite a few Big Ten teams out there. Ohio State, and again, this isn't football. This is basketball, but I'm excited for it, man. I'm ready for it. I think it's going to be great. And, so bracketology, ACC leads way with 8 teams in the initial in-season tournament projection. I guess, is this the early season tournaments here that they're fixing to talk about? Unless they're early March Madness picks. Top seed, first team out. Ooh, Mississippi State. Washington State is, I missed it, the last team to get in. So they're saying the first one that gets left out is Mississippi State, and you ultimately have from Gonzaga to Washington State. Last four byes, Florida, BYU, Colorado, St. Mary's, last four in. San Diego State, St. John's, Rutgers, and Washington State. And again, you start with Mississippi State, the first four out, Seton Hall, Iowa, and Oklahoma. Arizona, Drake, Nevada, and Craigton out of there. Craigton was good last year. 68-team bracket. Moved up, moved down, new team. Who cares about that? Gonzaga, Texas Southern, Morgan State, LSU, and Syracuse, Oregon, Buffalo, and so on and so forth. Let me, I'll put the link to this here if anyone wants to go back and watch it later. What's up, Rick Sanchez? Go Who's? Are you a Cavalier fan now? Come on, man. They're good. They're really good. Tennessee, UAB, Houston, UCSB, that's UC Santa Barbara. St. Mary's, Kentucky, Georgia State, Texas Tech, Louisville, Purdue, Michigan State, Florida, Baylor, Colgate, like the toothpaste, Notre Dame, Yale, Michigan, Florida State. There's so many teams in here. UConn, Furman, Illinois, Loyola, Chicago, Auburn in there, Colorado State. I'm saying these in random order, but yeah. USC, BYU, Texas, Iona. The conference breakdown. ACC has 8, Big Ten has 7, SEC 7, Big 12 and Pac-12 at 5, Big East at 4. What is the WCC? West Coast Conference. Okay, so that's where like Gonzaga and all them are. They got 2. American has 2. Atlantic has 10. Or the Atlantic 10 has 2. Mountain West 2. So there you go. Does UGA have a basketball program? They have a basketball program, but it's not. It's decent. It's just not one of those favorites, you know. They're always like a dark horse or wild card. You just don't know what they're going to do. They're not like they are in football where you talk about them every offseason now because of their coach or whatever. So, but Georgia, yeah, they have a basketball program. Week 10 overreactions. Bama not a top 4 team. Facts. Oregon a CFP lock. I'd be aware of that. Mark Schlabach, senior writer. Alabama ranks number 4 in the FBS with 43 points a game. Okay. So the offense is still pretty decent. Whatever. And look, this guy is making some good points and pointing it out here. Only one problem. The Crimson Tide don't block very well. The offensive line and those players and everything, they're terrible. Terrible blocking, terrible offensive line, terrible coaching. Doug Maroon. Bill O'Brien didn't even have a good plan last week for the offense as a whole. I'm surprised we even won that game. It's our defense. Oregon is a lock for the CFP. Are we buying this? Let me ask y'all this. Can Oregon, and I probably know the answer. Yeah, they could lose. They already have a loss, actually, to Stanford, so never mind. If they take another loss, they are out. Does Oregon win out? They have Washington State, Utah, and Oregon State, I think so. And then they will play, it could come down to Arizona State or Utah. for the Pac-12 title. I don't think either one of those teams really has much of a chance against them. Yeah, honestly, in my opinion. Oregon a lock for the CFP. I'd buy that. I would put them in as not one of the 4 teams for sure. What's up, LW? Roll Tide. Bama just got a top 5-star and a 4-star recruits in basketball. I think I saw that, and I didn't see who it was, though. Hold on. J.D. Davison. I saw him. I didn't see the other guy. But I think he was a 5-star, wasn't he? Davison? Maybe. But oh, shoot. Here we go. The CFP selection committee will correct its Cincinnati mistake. What is it? Okay. There was plenty of outrage last week, at least on Twitter, that undefeated Cincinnati wasn't included in the top 4 in the initial CFP rankings. I wrote in this space, again, this is from Mark Schlabach on ESPN. He says, I wrote in this space last week that the Bearcats deserve to be about number 6, and the selection committee agreed. So after the Spartans lost to the Boilermakers, the Bearcats have to move up, right? Maybe not, or at least not very much. Cincinnati struggled for the 3rd week in a row against a lesser opponent, needing 2 goal line stands in the final minutes to secure a 28-20 victory over Tulsa, which dropped to 3-6. And here's the thing. This is what the problem is with Cincinnati. And I've been saying this. Yes, they're a good team. And it really, scheduling doesn't necessarily matter. They could play everyone in their conference, nobody worth anything. But they struggled against Tulsa. That's a big issue. They got a great win over Notre Dame. They got a great win over teams like UCF. They had a close one against Navy. They blew out Tulane. They bounced back and say, we're better than a close game like that. Tulsa, they literally got an extra point in there. It was like the same score as the Navy game. That was 27-20. They won Tulsa 28-20. They got USF next this Saturday. They got SMU, and they got Eastern Carolina. I think they're going to be 12-0. I think they're going to win all those games. But, man, I really think not only do they have to win the American Conference, they have to, number 1, be undefeated. Okay, so Cincinnati has to hold on. What's up, Crimson? I see you in there. Here's how Cincinnati will make the playoffs. Okay, number 1, you have to win out. You have to beat these teams. Number 2, you not only have to beat them, you have to beat them good, right? You have to – Desmond Ridder has to put up some points. Let me give you a scenario. And you have to win the American, of course. You have to win that. And it looks like, based on standings, they're probably going to play Houston, yeah? Okay. Let's say they beat USF. Let's say 31-10. I'd take it. That's not too bad. SMU, let's say they beat them hypothetically 45-14. And let's say Eastern Carolina, that's like give them 3 and give Cincinnati maybe 50. Let's say they blow these teams out or win looking okay. You know, they look good, right? Is an undefeated – see, this is what I've been getting at. Is an undefeated Cincinnati a pure lock, a for sure lock for the college football playoff? And can this team actually go win a national championship? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think they could. I'm not going to count on it. Could they beat Georgia? Could they beat Alabama? Could they beat who? Like, could this team actually go in there and let alone compete with one of the other top 3 teams that'll probably be in there? Maybe they could. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway. So Alabama's not a top 4 team. Oregon is a lock for the college football playoff. Florida will fire Dan Mullen. That's an overreaction. That's crazy. No. Dan Mullen, here's my thoughts on Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen can't recruit, at least so far from what we have seen. He fires Todd Grantham. Good call. Good call. He shouldn't be fired. Rick even agreed. Mullen is safe. Of course he's safe. Florida fans don't want him gone. They wanted Grantham out of there. Now there's talk that he's on the hot seat. That's a given. What's up, Trenches? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you in here, sir. He's on the hot seat for damn sure. That's a given, that he's on the hot seat. I don't think he's getting fired after this year. I don't. And he's going to get fired soon. I know that. I would not give him more than 3 years, counting this season. He might be here in 2022, 2023. He might be here 23, 24. But after that, he's gone. Unless he can figure out a way to recruit. He doesn't want to recruit. What is does he want it like a draft like the NFL is? Like, what does he want? Like, what the hell, Dan? I mean, you're sitting over here. You're talking about how much you love Florida. You love the fans. You love the atmosphere and everything. This is kind of what I said last week. I'm just like, Dan Mullen needs to just learn how to recruit. He's an amazing offensive mind. He's an amazing head coach. Todd Grantham was the issue for the defense, first off. They don't have a quarterback. And it has nothing to do with play calling or coaching. This is about who's on the football field. They don't have talented players. He has to recruit. What's up, Jeff? Nate Braska dips his pretzels and cream cheese. Oh, God. Roll Tide, buddy. Roll Tide. I don't think Dan Mullen is going to get fired at least after this year. He was a one-hit wonder for one season, winning the East and then choking against the almighty Crimson Tide. That's what he did. That was amazing. Trenches. Carry on, sir. But no, I mean, look, I'm not saying Dan Mullen is amazing. All I'm saying is like, I think if you put him in the right situation, he can coach a football team. But I do agree that Florida deserves better than what he's given them. He just doesn't show that he wants this job. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about recruiting. Recruiting is the bloodline of college football that drives these programs. Why is Kirby Smart so elite? I'll give him credit. I know I've been tough. I know he's great. But it's because of his recruiting. Not forget about his coaching style. It's recruiting the players. What Nick Saban has done, recruiting the players. What Dabo, falling off this year, though. Hell yeah. Lincoln Riley. All these coaches that we talk about, all these programs, Ryan Day in Ohio State, it's recruiting. Yes, that is correct, Trenches. You get a candy bar, sir. It's past Halloween. I got some. I'll send to you. He won the East with someone else's team that, once again, he didn't recruit. Got it. Yes, exactly. And I'm just kidding. I don't have candy here. But I do, but you're not having it. Listen, Dan Mullen, again, like, he could go coach somewhere. If Dan Mullen actually gave a damn about trying to recruit, about trying, you know what? When he said that last week, no, we're not focused on that right now. We're focused on the season. We'll do that after the season. Dan, these players that want to go to Florida heard what you said. These commits, he has some. Don't get it twisted. He has some. Maybe not now, but Trench, give me that candy boy. Um, I mean, they don't want to go there now because they probably heard what he said. But now it's like, dude, oh my God. Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, Ryan Day, James Franklin, all these other coaches out there would have never in a million years got up on the podium after a game, win or lose, regardless of outcome of the game. Never would have got up there and turned down a question. Listen, if you don't want to answer a question, just say, please just ask me another question or something, right? They never would have sat there and said it's not important right now. Because they know that's a bull-faced lie. Recruiting is what drives college football. I dropped the link. If anyone wants to hop on, feel free to. I don't care. Dan Mullen should be fired. And you Florida fans, I know you want to keep him. I know you want – well, actually, from what I understand, they want him gone too. Anyway, okay. And I promise you, even though it was a good decision, I still think firing Grantham still isn't doing Florida any good. The defense is still going to suck. The offense is still down. And Dan Mullen can still cannot recruit. My God. All right. Cannot forget. Okay. I trolled a UGA fan from Jim Donnan's show to a OSU press conference today. Ballard made. What are you talking about? Anyway, at 2:00 I got something scheduled. So, and loyal, caring, someone that gives a damn. So, just so we're clear. Again, I dropped the link. If anyone wants to come on, speak now, forever hold your peace, whatever the hell. All right. Look, the fact that Florida fans still want Mullen is mind-boggling. Wow. Hey, okay. So Uncle Lou, Pete, and all these guys that are doing these walk-in talks. This is episode 3, but I missed it. Y'all see what VicTube is doing? My man, rolling and talking with VicTube. Come on, let me zoom in. Dang it. Mike Vick, if you're watching, buddy, I love you. Oh, damn, trenches. I can't agree to that at this moment in time, but okay. Women can't have – oh, God. No, he got a new one out. I missed all that what he was doing. I can do this. Okay. I guess Scott Frost, they re-signed his contract. Why are they still trying with this man? With Scott Frost? What is it? 5 seasons or whatever it's been for him now? Or not 5, but he's 10-23 in Big Ten. 10-23. What? It's ridiculous. I can't pass this up. Okay. It's going to be fine. Again, I mentioned I can't be on here too long because I'm committed, but, again, if anyone wants to come on here, feel free to. The link's been dropped a couple times. I'm running out of stuff to talk about. NFL, I don't know. (29-27) Steelers last night over the Bears as the Bears failed on a 65-yard field goal attempt. Late in the final seconds, though, or final minutes, the Steelers were able to get theirs. So they're 5-3. The Bears are now 3-6. They're still sticking with Justin Fields, which I think is right. But the Bears need some O-line to protect him. They have a lot to figure out. Now, they rallied. They had 21 points in the fourth quarter. It just was not enough to try to get the win. Again, as the Steelers were able to pull out the victory with the the field goal. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Jeff says 2 minutes. I guess I'll hop on. I don't know, but give me 1 second real quick. You can do this. You can do this. Do this. You got 30 minutes to kill. Okay. Fine. Yeah, I really not much to talk about. I'm just trying to kill time before school. I agreed to something at 2:00 with someone. I'm keeping my word. But Jeff, what's up?
What's up?
Not much.
Trenches, get in here with us.
Yeah.
Well, basketball starts for me Monday.
Nice.
I got San Diego State. I'm not
Is
doing
it the Cyclones basketball?
Yeah, just doing the women. And,
okay.
and
There you
the thing
go.
about that is I don't even have to. They have so many home games, and what they use and what they're paying me, I don't have to stay for the whole game if I don't want to, but I do. They mainly either want something from the first or something from the second half. They don't ever take, unless it's a conference game. Now, a conference game, I got to be there for the whole thing.
Yeah.
But these early games, they're just looking for one or two shots. I can get that, and technically, I could just get that and leave.
And these
But
are
like
what you
if I'm
do. Yeah.
going to drive 35, 40 minutes to campus, I'm not going to stay there for 40 minutes and then turn around and leave. I'm going to make it worth the effort, you know.
So the pictures that you take, I guess they kind of put it up on their blogs or whatever for Iowa State.
Yeah, it goes up on cyclone.net, and the university gets some, and some of them get distributed. It is kind of they go to a bunch of different places. Like
Cool.
one of them, somebody took it and put it on Twitter from the Texas game. It went all over the damn place.
That's awesome. White,
Yeah, I don't know.
Natty White. What is this?
The football team is at Texas A&M or at Texas Tech this week, and Iowa has Minnesota at home, and I'm losing a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because that Minnesota game was on my contract, but once a year I can be senioritied out. Not at Iowa State. I've got seniority at Iowa State.
Yeah.
But Jeff Minter can take me down from an Iowa game, and he did. He took me down from Purdue, and he took me down from Minnesota. In other words, what I mean by that is he does what I would be doing.
Okay.
Shooting from the field. Well, they're not going to pay two guys. So they're going to give it to the guy who's got seniority. Well, I don't have seniority at Iowa like I do at Iowa State, so I'm just out.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. I mean, I've done it before. I've been the other guy. I've been on the other side, so I understand. That's why I don't do Hawkeye Bowl games, because he's going to take Hawkeye Bowl games. So, that's automatic.
How does it feel to be the third best team in the SEC? Listen, this is clearly not Alabama's year. They're good. Now, here, they just can't – look, if all Alabama has to do – well, actually, I guess technically they have to hope that A&M drops a SEC game and Alabama has to win out. Otherwise, the tiebreaker is head-to-head, and A&M gets in as the team from the West, I think. If I'm not mistaken, because they beat Alabama, but keep talking.
I didn't see that in the chat. I must have missed that.
It was earlier. I'm scrolling back through the comments that I might have missed. At the very least.
Oh, Trent just says he's technically working, but he's listening, man. Okay, cool.
Haas says to quit doubting the Tide. That's fair. Even if we're not that team, you still got to have confidence and faith.
Look, I'll say what I said last night when Pete and Lou were having fun trashing Alabama. This is, in my opinion, the weakest Alabama team since 2010. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think you had to go back to 2010. People say, well, what about 2019? 2019, they were still very, very good. They only lost by 5 to LSU in a game that if they'd had one more possession, they would have won.
And the defense lost the Iron Bowl.
Right, and they were injured. There were injuries all over the place in 2019. Okay?
Especially the Tua loss too. And Mac, even though we know what he did last year, he just wasn't full on to that level yet when he had to take over.
We had 2 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers miss almost the entire year.
Yeah,
that would have been starters. So you go back to 2010. Okay, well, what have we done since then? Well, let's see. That was 11 seasons ago. How about 6 SEC championships and 5 national championships in the last 11 years? Has your school done that?
And 2.
Okay.
Don't forget 2
unless your school's done that, don't come give me shit about Alabama.
And who else can say that they've also had 2 different Heisman winners in that span alongside all those championships?
And 5 running backs drafted in the first round.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And 3 quarterbacks who have started in the NFL this year.
Jalen, Mack, and Tua. I'll tell you what, that and forget who we had to beat, but I still think the greatest Alabama game with meaning that I ever saw was that Jalen Hurts against Georgia game. Because I mean, you got to think, man, this guy, he should have left us. I'm sorry to say it, but he should have. He deserved better. He didn't deserve to be benched, but also Tua deserved to start. And he stuck it out. And he did what he had to for the team. But
well, it got you guys triggered, so it works. Said El Trolito Supremo Rick says, yes, it works. I got triggered. I admit it.
Yep. I just kind of agreed with them.
I got Lou all sorts of triggered. I got Lou all sorts of triggered the other day because I said Georgia's wins aren't impressive. And what he can't understand, what he doesn't see, because he's in the forest and he doesn't understand that he's surrounded by trees, even though he's standing in the forest, is that those teams were good when Georgia played them, but now we find out that they weren't so good.
Right.
Kentucky's not as good as we thought they were. Florida, we know, is no good. Missouri's no good.
You know what's so funny is they've been doing that to Bama for years.
Clemson's not as good as we thought they were. Turns out Texas A&M is better than we thought they were.
I'm claiming it now. Clemson is dead. All right. And look, people can do that to Alabama.
But you can't say anything against Georgia without the Georgia fans thinking that you're belittling them. And I am not belittling them at all. I'm just saying, because it's not Georgia's responsibility for the teams they beat to then go out and have a good record. That's not Georgia's responsibility.
Right.
Okay. So I'm not blaming Georgia. I'm just saying teams they have beaten, like Arkansas, Arkansas, well, guess what? They're not as good as we thought they were. Well, okay. That's not Georgia's fault.
If you had told me that weekend when we kicked off the season and you said, hey, Georgia's going to beat Clemson, I would have said, I agree. That's my pick. Oh, and no, by the way, Clemson's still going to have a good defense, but they won't be able to figure out on offense. And when it's all said and done, at some point in the season, they'll be like 4-5. I would have said you were crazy. I didn't see that coming from Clemson. I mean, I knew they'd fall off and, whatever, but Clemson sucks. I mean, and that's not, oh, Georgia, you beat Clemson, you hyped it up all off season. Look, that's not Georgia's fault. I'm actually sticking up for them. Like Alabama, okay, they beat Miami. That was a ranked matchup. They blew them out pretty handily. Is it our fault that win isn't looking so good right now? No, that's on Miami for the path that they have taken since that game and how they've fallen off. It's not on the winning team or whatever, or these great programs, now scheduling of like these Western Carolinas or nobody Tech or State, good and well from the start, those aren't going to be good wins. It's not going to mean anything. But if you schedule these Power 5 conference, these Power 5 opponents, you're at least adding Power 5 wins to your resume. You can't control what they do going forward and how it's going to look on your end when it's all said and done.
To me, there's Georgia, and then way back, far back, is, I would say, a group that it would include Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, maybe Oregon.
Yes.
And then after that, and I would not include Cincinnati in that second group. And then after that, there's everybody else.
Yeah.
But the gap between Georgia and Alabama, if you were to tell me that Georgia has to play Alabama this week, I would say that for the first time since 2015, Alabama will be an underdog, And I would expect Georgia to win by 8 to 10 points if Bama played a good game.
Right. Trenches makes a good point too. He says,
Here, Ballard. I wrote this down. I wrote this down. Let me find it on a sheet of paper. Here we go.
All right.
Here's what Rick Sanchez and LW and Trenches need to hear. Listen carefully, gentlemen. Right now, on campus, as students, as freshmen in Alabama, their offensive line you've been talking about, and their offensive line has been pathetic this year. But J-Dub has been telling you for 6 months that you better get Alabama this year because, oh my God, what are they going to be? Here's why.
Yeah.
These numbers are from 24/7 Sports. In the room right now as freshmen, ranked by position nationally, the number 1 and number 2 offensive tackles in the class of 2021, the number 2 and number 19 guard, the number 13 center, and we have hard commitments for next year, 2022, from the number 6 tackle, the number 9 tackle, and the number 13 guard. Okay? So the offensive line is a disaster this year. It's a clown show. But guess what? It ain't gonna be. And yes, Georgia recruits, but they don't have the O-line recruits coming in to match Bama's. Look it up. You can look it up yourself. The numbers are right there in front of you.
Dude, it's not even just what they have already committed, but you got to think of all the depth and the players that nobody has heard about that us Bama fans. Like, if I said Brockemeyer twins, half the people wouldn't know that I'm talking about like these 6'6" twins, brothers. They're freshmen right now. One was a 4-star, one was a 5-star. I'm looking forward to those guys, man. That offensive line for Bama, it might be depleted this year just a little bit, but just you wait, man. It's going to pick itself up the next couple of years for Bryce Young, and he's going to have the good protection that he needs.
Yeah, look, and I don't understand why Georgia fans don't get this when I say this. I'm not bashing Georgia. I think that we could be looking at the 19 LSU, the 20 Alabama, could be being reborn the third year in a row as the 21 Georgia, where they just go through the season and just nobody can, and they're just get the hell out of the way. That could very well be who Georgia is. We haven't seen it yet. I mean, we'll find out. The game's got to play themselves out. But Georgia's in a position to do that. And I'm going to repeat over and over again, I do not think Georgia is going to turn into 2020 LSU. They're not going to disappear. They're going to win 10, 11 games again next year. But what the Georgia fans have been just tickled, they've just been so excited. It gives them goosebumps to talk about the Alabama offense. Well, you lost Najee Harris. You lost the Outland Trophy winner. You lost the Remington Trophy winner. You lost 3 of the top 5 Heisman. There's no way you could be as good. That's your defense next year. That's your defense next year, Georgia.
They were saying the same thing when we lost guys like Cooper, Yeldon, and AJ. Did they not say,
but that's Georgia's defense next year.
Yeah.
And Georgia's offense, that the true Georgia fans like Trenches, he'll tell you, the Georgia offense is not overwhelming by any stretch of the imagination, and their defense is going to take a massive hit to the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So Georgia's going to be extremely good. They won't be there's no way they'll ever be out of the top 5. They'll probably be a playoff team again next year. I got no problem at all saying that. I'm just saying, like Alabama did on offense, there's no way Georgia on defense can't take a step back. You just can't lose that kind of power to the NFL. I mean, that's obvious. So that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, right now, the biggest obstacle for Georgia has been Alabama. And right now, Alabama's down while Georgia's up. So
Right.
Georgia, the stars are aligned for Georgia's strike. Next year, it's going to be the other way around. And I'll be saying Alabama better take advantage of this while Georgia's off a little bit. They better take advantage of it. It's just that these two teams aren't lined up next to each other equal in power like they were in 17 and 18. There's been one up and one down the last couple of years. Last year, it was in Bama's favor. This year, it's in Georgia's favor. Bama took advantage. Can Georgia take advantage? I expect they will. Let's see. That's not bashing Georgia.
I'd say the same thing goes for not only Georgia and Alabama, but I mean, you don't have to be necessarily the top two teams in recruiting or the best teams that we look at. I mean, I'll tell you what, Lincoln Riley has recruited greatly at Oklahoma. Think about, I don't know if you've paid attention, but do you see what Sarkisian's rolling in right now in the Big 12? I mean, you look at other teams like that, they're having their own little recruiting battles in the Big 12 or the Big 10 or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that sit there, like in Oklahoma, saying like we're the top of the hill or whatever, which, they might be, and they might be for a little while, but don't act like it's a super huge gap, for teams like that. And I mean, I don't know. I was thinking about that too over in the Big 12. I just figured I'd throw that out there. I mean, it's, a lot of people think, oh, it's just Bama and Georgia. It's not really just that. I mean, there's a lot of teams.
Let's leave the Bama-Georgia argument for a while. I mean, we're beating that horse into the ground.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Big 12. Here's what Oregon has in front of them. They've got to play Baylor. They've got to play Baylor. They've got to play Iowa State, and they've got to play Oklahoma State.
You said Oregon. Now, I guess you meant Oklahoma.
Yeah. Oklahoma. I'm sorry. Oklahoma has to play Baylor, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State. Okay. Now, they could easily win all three of those. They could also lose two of them.
Yep.
And if they lose two of them, it doesn't matter which of the three teams beat them. If they lose two of them, they're out of the Big 12 title game.
It'll be Baylor, Oklahoma State, I think, right? Aren't they the next two in line?
And Iowa State, because Iowa State beat Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah.
And Baylor beat Iowa State, and Oklahoma beat Baylor. So they've all beaten each other. So it goes to a bunch of tiebreakers. Yes. But a two-loss Oklahoma would not be in that tiebreaker. So there's still a chance, and this is what Cincinnati is hoping for, there's still a chance that Oklahoma could get completely knocked out of the Big 12 championship game. And for that to happen, it would really, really help if Baylor beats them this week.
Right.
Because if Baylor beats them, then all of a sudden Oklahoma will be playing under the pressure of having to beat Iowa State and Oklahoma both instead of just one of them. If Oklahoma beats Baylor, then Oklahoma's last two games are Iowa State and Oklahoma State, and the Sooners can relax because they would only need to win one of those to get to the Big 12 title game.
But if they drop both of those, they're screwed. They're done, right? I mean, because you'd have
right. I'm saying this Baylor game is huge.
That's true.
This Baylor-Oklahoma game, to me, is the biggest game of the weekend.
I could actually see that. We really don't have many big games this weekend in general, but I could agree that with implications, I mean, I think Baylor now has two losses, but I mean, still, if the Sooners aren't careful, they could take their first loss of the season and actually take a loss, because I know they've struggled and played some close games. They could actually lose, and Baylor could sneak up on them. And, they could still go to the Big 10 or the Big 12. And then, again, like you mentioned, like Oklahoma State's right there too. And I guess Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa Iowa State screwed their own pooch by losing to West Virginia.
Yeah.
That's what they did. They hosed their own. What they have to do is they have to win out. Iowa State has to win at Texas Tech, at Oklahoma, and then beat TCU at home. They have to do that and then get help. They do not control their own destiny because they lost at West Virginia or left of Virginia. Unbelievably. I don't know how the hell they managed to do it, but they did.
I'll tell you a game we need to watch this weekend, and I know that they've dropped, but it being a home game for them, I'm keeping my eye on 8-1 Michigan going to Happy Valley to Penn State.
Right. Yep.
If Michigan, you know, I really think Penn State is a better team than the record shows. You know, you got to think one or two of those losses, like to an Iowa or Ohio State, the Illinois game, they just looked like they didn't want to be there. They're better than their record shows, I think, if they truly get to a game and they just relax and they calm themselves, and especially being at home. Look, Michigan cannot afford another loss. They need to have some momentum going into that Ohio State game in a couple weeks if they really want to finally beat them at home, which I think that they could. But, you know, Michigan's got to be careful this weekend going on the road.
Here's the ace in the hole that Ohio State has.
Yep.
Ohio State has one loss. So does Michigan, and so does Michigan State.
Yeah.
But Michigan and Michigan State have lost in the conference, and Ohio State has not. Their loss is not in the Big Ten, and that gives them an advantage.
That's true.
And I think Ohio State is going to win out. They're going to be 11-1, and they're going to go into the Big Ten championship game, and they're going to beat the living snot out of whoever the Big Ten West team is. And Ohio State's going to be 12-1 and get the number 3 or the 2 or 3 or 4 spot in the playoffs.
I'll make a bold claim. I don't know why, but I have a gut feeling Michigan has the team to pull it off this year and beat Ohio State at home. I don't know why I feel that way, but I just feel like if they have a year, it seems like they have that kind of team, especially on defense.
They could. I mean, you know, look at what Purdue's done. You don't know. That's, and I'll say what we've talked about this before. Forget who you think is going to be the 4 for a minute. Just forget that for a minute. We could be set up for some really intriguing and really entertaining New Year's 6 games where you do not have players opting out because these players understand it's going to build them for next year. So we could be set up for some really great New Year's 6 games.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. That's right. Yeah.
Here's my hot take for November 9th. Although it's not really a hot take. I mean, anybody could say. My prediction is Spencer Rattler to Ole Miss.
Whoa! Woo! You think he transfers out this month?
Well, you know, at the end of the year.
Okay.
He'll be at Ole Miss next year.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I do think Spencer Rattler is talented, but obviously for Oklahoma, it seems like Caleb Williams is a better quarterback and at least for them and a better answer. Could you imagine the offense that Lane Kiffin is going to have if you're right about this next year? Holy hell. Spencer Rattler to Ole Miss? Woo!
Rattler's already pretty much, he himself hasn't said it, but all the Oklahoma people are saying he's leaving. And you can see why. Okay, so if you're Rattler, you want to go to a quarterback guru because the reason you're leaving is because you want to make draft money. Okay. So where can I go and put up numbers and get drafted?
Yep.
And get drafted high? Okay. Well, there's Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. There's Mike Leach at Mississippi State. But guess what? Mike Leach's quarterbacks aren't putting up those kind of numbers. So
Oh,
Lane
no.
Kiffin is a much better choice. Dan Mullen has fumbled around the quarterback mess, and Florida is a complete mess. So you're not going to go there. You're not going to go to Georgia because Georgia's quarterback room is overflowing. You're not going to go to Alabama because you don't fit there. Saban wouldn't want you. I think it's Ole Miss unless depending upon who USC hires and he decides he wants to go be a movie star out in Los Angeles. I think Rattler goes to Ole Miss.
Wow.
Because he'll be thinking about NFL money.
And Ole Miss, honestly, is going to have a lot coming back offensively. They're not losing too much. So he'll have weapons and some guys up front and an offensive guru like Lane Kiffin and what he wants to do that'll help him, I guess, better be successful in what he was meant to be and what everyone hyped him up to be before he got to Oklahoma. You get what I'm saying?
I want to address LW in the comment sections. LW, I'm not one of those 20% of spoiled Bama fans. I think 2019 was a fine year. I mean, considering the injuries and to finish 11-2 overall, to have a bowl game victory over Michigan, there's all sorts of schools that would have happily traded places with us. The only thing when I say 2019 was down is because it's down by the impossible standards that Alabama has set.
Yeah, that's true.
It's down only in comparison to other Alabama teams, not down in the reality of the world. I mean, no, yeah, 11-2 with yeah. I mean, I walked onto campus as a freshman and watched us go 5-6 in the second year under Ray Perkins. I mean, I know what that's like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Speaking of that, look at this camera shot here. Look at this old picture I found. Can you all see that?
Let me full screen that. Is that you?
That is me. Full screen it here, Ballard, so you can see where I am.
It's on full screen.
There you go. That's me. And there's the degree on the wall.
Yep. Oh, we lost Jeff. Man. Oh crap. Shoot. I suck. I made a promise talking to someone. I had to. Oh, here we go. Jeff's back. Make a phone call too.
Believe it or not, that was me at 23.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I didn't used to be a great big fat disgusting slob. I just turned into one. I wasn't always one. I just was. I was looking through an old book. And I don't know, for some reason I was using that picture for ungodly reason, I guess, as a page marker or something. And I said, what the hell is this? Because I could see the edge of it, I could see the edge of it. And, I'm like, oh, I got a bookmark in here. And I go, where the hell did this come from? And I knew what it was. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was also a picture of me clean shaven. And I haven't been unmustached or unbearded since let's see, I quit dating Sarah in 90
dating
99. It's been over 20 years since I've been completely clean shaven.
Yeah.
Completely.
Wow.
trying to hide the ugly as much as I can.
I've been there. Yeah.
Rick says you got to go meet a chick behind Publix.
No, not behind Publix.
Oh, in the parking lot?
No, I was talking with this girl yesterday or whatever, and we agreed we'd probably talk this afternoon. So, you know, it's kind of reconnecting or whatever.
Well, Ballard, this afternoon stretches from about 12 p.m. until about 5 p.m. So that's not exactly nailing it down.
That's true, man.
I mean, you could have said, "Look, I'll call you between 2 and 3."
Yeah.
Is that a good time for you? You know.
Yeah.
Is this a guy you work with?
Me?
Yeah. Is it a guy you work with or somebody you met?
No, this was, you remember when I was on the morning show and I talked about that date I went on in July? Did you hear that?
Yeah, you went to Dairy Queen?
Yeah, it's that girl.
Oh, okay. So you reconnected with her.
Yeah, but it's as friends or whatever. I mean, she's saying hello. She was
That's all right.
I saw her at church with some other guy.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, God. Just give me a shovel and no, I'm just kidding.
Was that guy her boyfriend or was it an imposter? Did you ask her?
No, I didn't. I saw her. I didn't even say. I haven't said anything about it because I don't want no drama. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not drama to ask her. I saw you at church. Is that your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Was she holding hands with the guy? She could have been there with it. Could have been her cousin. Could have been something.
Bama. Holy hell! This coming from a Bama fan.
What's that?
This coming from a Bama man.
What?
Even though I know you're in Iowa, but could have been her cousin.
I guess behind Publix is safer than the laundromats in Bama. Yeah.
Facts. Oh my God. Yeah. They announced the lineup for the new, or not the new, but next year's Rock the South, which is here in Coleman, is a big concert festival that's like 2 or 3 days. They had it in August this year, but hold on, who is it? I know the actual band Alabama's going to be there, and they were supposed to have Leonard Skinner this year, but they had to cancel because of COVID stuff with one of the band members, and they replaced him with, damn it, who was it? Marshall Tucker?
Alabama, rocking in Tennessee.
Yeah. Jimmy Allen, Colt Ford, Jamie Johnson. A lot of big names, man. They get
They used to have a big country concert in Fort Payne, Alabama. They called it Bama Blast.
Okay.
And that's where Alabama, I think that's where like 2 or 3 of the members of Alabama are from.
I've heard that. Yes.
So that's why they have it there. And Alabama would always be the headliner, but there'd always be a bunch of other bands that were there too.
Right.
It was like I don't know if it was 1 or 2 days. I never went, but it was a great big deal back in the day. And I don't think they have it anymore. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, Haas lives fairly close to there. Haas was talking about it one time.
Well, I told you guys that one time about where my parents are down in Florida. I won't give out exact location, but they got this strawberry festival. It's like the main strawberry festival, and they always have concerts. Well, one year we were trying to raise money for our church because the youth group wanted to go to camp or whatever over the summer. So we're selling cushions for seats at the concerts, and we got them. We got indies for free. We saw my favorite Christian band, Newsboys. We saw Sarah Evans. We saw Craig Morgan. We saw Reba. Some damn good names, man.
Sarah Evans.
Oh, don't even get started, Jeff.
Oh.
Jay Barker deserves better. Come on.
Oh, Sarah Evans. Oh.
She's good. She has an amazing voice.
She makes me shiver. She makes me shiver.
The suds are in the bucket.
Suds in the bucket. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. When I saw her video for Perfect, I fell in love.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, she had a bunch of hits. Somewhere laying around here, I got her greatest hits on CD somewhere.
Yeah. Reba's a big name too, man. She was the closing act of the whole week. And it was, oh man, it was great. LW says, uh-oh, here comes the apple pie.
No. I eat my apple pies.
Right.
And I got enough apples to make one more. And if I make another one next week, I'm going to do it right. Because right now I don't have any ice cream to eat it all mode with. And I don't have any caramel sauce.
Yeah.
And I like to drizzle a little caramel on top while the pie is still hot. And then, put the piece in the microwave and put a little ice cream on the side.
Yeah. Rick Sanchez says you're putting a picture of Sarah Evans on that apple pie, aren't you? Oh, my God.
Sarah Evans. Geez.
God. Just... I brought it up. Oh, man. Davey O'Brien Award semifinalist Bryce Young. Wow. There you go.
Yeah, the Heisman this year, I guess, is pretty much still up for grabs. Somebody could have a couple of big weeks here,
I don't even know who the front runner is.
Yeah,
I guess
and I don't really care. Even when the Bama guys have won it, I'm not hung up on the Heisman. I'm more interested in the Maxwell, the O'Brien, the Doak Walker, the Remington, the Outland, the position awards.
Bolitnikoff. That's a big one.
Yeah, the Bolitnikoff, the Thorpe, because the Heisman is so political.
It is. I mean, it's like it's like a freaking Oscar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a nice honor, but
Yeah.
They're never truly going to give it to a defensive player. I thought Pitt defensive tackle Hugh Green should have won it in 79 or 80.
I was just fixing to say, like, there's so many players out there that got robbed. Like
mid-70s, it should have gone to Leroy Selman, the defensive tackle from Oklahoma.
Selman with the Bucks was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, so the Heisman is what the Heisman is. That's, and it's a nice honor. And when your school wins one, that's great, What do we have? We have what Bama got 3 now. Ingram, Henry, and Smith 3.
Yeah.
Because Ingram won it too, didn't he?
Ingram won it in 09, I think, when we had
and Ingram, and then Henry, and then
Yeah, and I don't think Georgia's had one since Herschel Walker, if I'm not mistaken, right? You got Florida's got like Tim Tebow. Uh, of course, we remember, and I don't hate Joe Burrow, but I damn sure hate LSU. So I mean, I kind of just, but
Yeah.
well deserved. I mean, he earned it, but I mean, it was like, look who he had to beat.
Sanchez says Bryce Young is the front runner. I mean,
That's
he's had a nice year, but I don't know.
he's not Heisman front runner material.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. I mean,
good. He's
that
decent.
just goes to show you. That just goes to show you how wide open the field is. That because Young's having a nice year, but because right now everybody's looking
in there. My God, they're messing this year up.
Because right now everybody's kind of looking around, going, "Well, let's see. I guess it would be this guy. I guess it would be." There's no like, "Well, it's these two guys." It's it's because at the start of the season, I would have told you Sam Howell from North Carolina would be under consideration.
Wrong.
I would have thought one of the other between Brees Hall and Bijan Robinson, the running backs at Oklahoma or at Texas and Iowa State, one of those would probably be in contention, and neither one is. I mean,
it was DJ was the front runner, but Clemson, of course, just had whatever the hell's going on happen, and he's not even. I mean, he's nowhere near it.
No.
Uiagalelei, I thought, was the front runner going into the season. One of them, at least.
Yeah, it's wide open, and this is one of those odd years where there's not really
a clear cut.
The one or two standout quarterbacks. I mean, this is a really low quarterback year.
Yeah.
That's why Georgia fans are talking about JT coming back. I think if JT goes to a camp and somebody says, "Hey, you could be, mid-second round." Mid-second round is $2 million a year for your first 3 years.
Yeah.
Take that money.
What Bryce has going for him, he had 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a loss. That's what's keeping him in the right. Yeah, I mean, look, the players are carrying Bryce first off, and helping him out. But I mean, look, we had a loss against A&M. The defense gave that up, and I know it was tough on Bryce. I mean, he's a serviceable quarterback, but I mean, look, in a game where we lost by 3. He had almost 400 yards, and it was incredible.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for Bryce, we wouldn't have been in that game, Ballard.
That's true.
The defense and the special teams surrendering that long kickoff return is what cost us that game.
Yeah.
It wasn't Bryce's fault that Alabama didn't win that game. I blame Billingsley and Mechie for dropping passes that could have extended drives and dropping a touchdown pass.
And put more points up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Bryce still has next year, and I think next year, you mentioned 22, 23 with all the recruiting going forward, but also the guys coming back. Look, this is not Bama's year. They are not a championship. They're a championship program, but I think a great program and a great team, like per season or whatever, I don't see us being a championship level team, at least for this year. Now, I get we're looking good. We have our ups and downs, and yeah, we're still one of the better teams in football. It's just not their year this year. This is lined up for Georgia, but everyone else better watch their back because, damn it, the Tide are coming. That's it.
If Bryce went to USC, Bama would have 3 losses minimum with Tyson. I almost agree with that.
Yeah,
Tyson, I think, is a clown, and it'll be Jalen Milroe who will be. And then we got the Simpson kid coming in. We got Simpson's
going to be amazing.
Yeah, we've got an outstanding quarterback in the wings. So, because Bryce will play one more year, he'll play next year, and then he'll be gone.
Yeah.
And that'll be just enough time to get Jalen Milroe ready.
Yeah. And you give Tyson maybe a year or so under Milroe, under the offense to learn it, and then this 5-star guy, I think he got his 5 stars, right? Because at first he was 4.
I can't think of the kid's name, but we've got 2 running backs coming in that are both in the one of them is like number 14, and the other one I think is like number 3. And so yeah, I mean,
Le'Veon Moss is 1.
The offense is going to be fine. It just needs time. I mean,
Emmanuel
there's
Henderson.
there's no reason to be all upset about this year, because if you didn't see this coming, if you didn't see Bama struggling coming, then you've got blinders on.
Over to Alabama. Well, guess what? Look, we take step backs. We've had setback years like this where we weren't championship level, and it's okay. But the difference between us and maybe a program like LSU is we're very consistent with recruiting and with coaching. We're like the only team out there like that that's going to have a down year, but just watch out the next year or so. They're going to bounce right back up to the top of college football. I mean, so anyway. Damn it. Anyway. Jeff, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
All right. I was just making sure. I don't really have much else to say, and I got class in a few hours I need to get ready for. So, I mean, but it's up to you. I mean, if you want to keep talking.
Your stream, you got shit to do. You got shit to do. Well, just end it.
Yeah, I got to get ready for math class. So, but it was great talking with you guys today, man. Have a good one. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Yep. Thank you, Jeff, for coming on. Appreciate it, buddy. Trenches showed up earlier, I think, at least in the chat. I don't remember if he actually came on here. Rick Sanchez, GA1, LW, Crimson Brave. Again, I mentioned Trenches, Haas, Jeff. I love each and every one of you. Big things coming. We are 1 month away from celebrating 2 years on the channel. I'm going to be 20 years old. We're going to do a big stream like we did last year to celebrate. I hope everyone has a blessed week ahead. It's only Tuesday. Somehow, it just feels like a really long, never-ending week. But anyway, I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. And until next time, folks, Ballard Sports Media. Check it out. Love y'all. Peace out. Bye.
Okay. Roll down Tide.